Media Group, NV and Day. Hello, I'm Dr. V. This is Neutral Voices in Depth. And tonight, first of all, thank you for joining us. We're going to be having I'm going to call it a heavy conversation, deep conversation. We're going to be talking about a sensitive topic. We're going to be talking about boycotting. And does boycotting create change? But before we get into that, Clarence, give us a prayer, please.
Yes, let us pray. Our Father, we just first come thank you for your grace and mercy, dear Heavenly Father. We ask you for your presence as we discuss this topic. Not let it just be vain talking, but let it inspire change, be thought-provoking, and just open eyes, dear Heavenly Father. Bless those that are on the panel and bless those that are behind the scenes. In your Son, Jesus' name, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. So I say sensitive because what happened that sparked this whole boycott conversation is really a sensitive matter.
Right.
Heartbreaking. I kind of had to revisit the original story. I had to take myself way back to the original situation. And so in case you are not aware of what's going on, can I say America?
Yes.
Because this is going on in a lot of places, not just in the South Carolina area.
Right.
But so what's going on is the verdict came out, and I'm going to call him Rick Chow because that first name I might.
Yeah, that's
really
what they
mess it
refer to him as. Yeah.
Okay. So the verdict came out, and Rick Chow was found not guilty unanimously. And people are very upset, mainly the Black community. And so let me say his name, the victim's name, for sure. And so hearts out and prayers for the family of Cypress Carmack Belton, who died in that 2023 shooting as he was running away from, I want to make sure I'm clear with that market in South Carolina.
Right.
And so it sparked the verdict that came out the other day. I'm not sure of the exact date, but
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago.
Okay. In June of 2026 has really caused a lot of tension amongst a lot of people. Now, mainly African Americans, Blacks, people of color. And I'm talking to two people tonight, people of color. I am a person of color.
Right.
And can I ask you guys tonight to be 100% honest? Most of the time, I know you are. We're never doing things for show or to make people feel a certain way out in podcast land. But tonight, I just want us to really be transparent from a different perspective, because a lot of times people feel like because you're Black or you are a person of color that you should be on this side in this case or that case.
Right.
We know how it works. But tonight, I want you to process some of the things that occurred during that night, that situation, as well as up to now.
Okay.
And I want you to and I know you ready. You're gonna do your thing. You're gonna be transparent with us. You most of the time you are. But I want us to think about the situation, and I wanted to break this down a little bit so we can deal with this and then get into the boycott situation.
Right.
So first of all, do we understand what took place in general?
Yes.
That there was a confrontation at the Express Market,
Right.
connected to Shells.
Right.
Let me just put that out there so people know. The Express Mart connected to Shells. And then there was a chase from the store, about 130-yard chase, where two adult men, father and son, was chasing a 14-year-old
Mm-hmm.
boy, black boy, Asian men
Mm-hmm.
chasing the 14-year-old black boy. And then a weapon appeared
Mm-hmm.
that was exposed or fell out during a struggle. And then the court case with the defense and the testimony of the father supposedly shooting in self-defense of his son. With those thoughts in mind, keeping keep you got to keep this at the forefront of your thoughts, everyone, because this is what I didn't know. I didn't know the laws surrounding
It
self-defense
depends on the state too.
in
Mm-hmm.
the state of
Mhm.
South Carolina. So I had to do a little research to discover that there's a such thing as a third party self-defense
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
law there. So with that in mind, and this man claims that he shot the young man, Cypress, in self-defense of his son who was being threatened at the time with a gun aimed at him by Cypress. All allegedly, these are claims. This is what he said, but that was the defense. And that is how Rick Chow was found not guilty unanimously. So it was never about the dollar bottle of water.
Right.
What most of people, black people, most people thought
Focus on that bottle of
that
water.
the prosecution even focused on the bottle of water versus a life.
Yes.
But defense focused on self-defense. A father defended his son. And that law stands in South Carolina. So knowing those things, I needed to lay that out.
Right.
Not just for us,
Right. So everybody get a full.
but
So everybody
anybody that
get a
hears
partial
this.
picture.
Yes. And so that leads us into our topic. Does boycott or boycotting create change? And so whichever one of you
Okay,
guys
I'm finna
wanna
go first. I'm
speak
finna dive in
on
first.
that.
I'm gonna dive in first. We're gonna go back to the story, to the situation. Now, first and foremost, you chasing somebody over a dollar bottle of water.
That's what started it.
Let's make that understood.
Yeah.
So if you stole that bottle of water and he got out your store with a dollar bottle of water and you didn't catch him, it should be done with. But you want to go run him down, and I guess the little man had him was strapped up, and you want to pull the trigger. But here's the biggest part about it. It's two key parts about this. He should never stole from them. That's first and
Got you.
foremost.
Yes.
Let's stand on that.
He shouldn't have stolen.
He shouldn't have took
Anything. So
anything.
the
But
bottle
he
of water.
didn't steal anything.
But the bottle of water. I'm just saying.
He did
that's
not
what-
steal.
that's
So
what
let me make sure this is clear.
No,
Hey,
it's-
that's what
Let-
that's what the story. And I understand.
I know.
but go
I
ahead.
just want to
Because the
make
story
sure we
was he
clear
stole that
Cypress'
dollar
name.
bottle of water.
Let
Yeah.
me make sure I clear Cypress' name according to documentation as of today. He had nothing according to the surveillance camera. He had 3 bottles of water. He put them back, 3 or 4,
4.
but whichever the number, but he put them back and he did not have anything on him. That is what, in my research, is what I discovered.
So with that
now,
being
now
said-
let me invite the community. Anybody out there, please chime in. If you know something, if I misspeak in any way and you would like to clear it up, please do so. Add and comment. We always encourage you to do so. This is Neutral Voices, and we thank you for being here with us tonight, especially on such a sensitive topic. So, E.
But with that being said, even if he stole it, he didn't steal it.
Right.
To chase him down the street,
Mhm.
that boy is in fear of his life as well. So we're gonna go that route, and then you want to say, "Oh, I was defending my son." Well, if you would have never chased him down the street, or you and your son would never, y'all wouldn't have had nothing to fear.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
And I
Let's start.
agree with you
So
100%.
if you never would have came out that store and tried to chase that, there's nothing to fear there because you're in the comfort of your store.
And it boiled down at that point to choices.
Yeah, that was
They
your choice.
chose to run after this young man because, like you said, life would have been totally different
Different.
over
Yeah.
the last 3 years.
So you choose that to go down there and chase him. Now, let me flip to the other side. And this is what it proves across America year after year after year after year. Black men don't matter. Because guess what? To them, and you take it how you want it, enjoy your night, you get mad, you can write, you can do whatever. That shows and proves in its own many and multiple cases, even the case in Fort Wayne. Black people do not matter. You could kill them. Oh, okay. It's fine. But as soon as one of us kill one of them, there's a big problem.
Okay.
So let's look at let's just look at it as a totality.
Yeah.
This same thing happened. Tupac talks about it. Tisha Johnson
Is that the one in Compton?
In
With the
Compton.
orange juice.
with the orange juice. This happened. What I want
91,
90.
92?
Yeah,
Yeah.
same type of situation happened. She got an orange juice. She placed it in her bag. She went to pay for it, and they killed her.
The one that shot her before she got to the cash register.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Not guilty. Are you serious? Our lives is not worth. What happened in Fort Wayne? Same situation. What happened in Wisconsin? Same situation. It doesn't matter if you kill one of us in their eyesight. There's just another one of us gone.
Okay.
That's what I like I said, I'm just gonna speak at how I see it.
And I do definitely appreciate that, and I agree with. It seems like it doesn't matter, but and that has happened multiple times in different situations, different cities and states. But when you make the statement that our lives, Black lives, don't matter, then that's where I ask that question many nights when I hear the news or find out that another one of us has killed
Another one of us.
Right.
and so that's where I kind of have this giant question mark in my mind saying, what is going on? And it is not me asking what is going on with other cultures killing us, but
Right.
that's another subject. So I don't want to focus on that tonight because we definitely need to have that
Conversation.
conversation. But so when we look at this, was it so? Of course, do you feel like stereotyping and racial profiling was happening in the store? We don't know. We're thinking what was going on, or was this a man, simply a man, happened to be Asian, and the young boy happened to be Black, and this businessman thought somebody was stealing from him, no matter what color he was, male, female, Black or white, Asian or whatever color. Do we think that if he had been another color, they would have just let him go out of the door, even if they had the thought of him having a bottle of water?
Yeah, we can't Monday morning quarterback, and I understand what you're saying, but I do believe because, and you talk about the boycott. Let's frame the boycott.
Yes.
And what came about it. Yes, everybody was saying, let's stop supporting Asian businesses, but the conversation comes after Asian people, several made videos that said, if y'all stop supporting us, what do y'all have?
Right. Well, that's further.
Yeah.
But
so
we're definitely going to get to that part.
Yeah. No, and I wasn't going to hit it. I'm just saying.
Okay.
So, but the premise of, does race not play a part in it? I don't know, because race was always a focus
During this
the whole
particular
process.
trial,
Yes.
you're saying,
Yes,
this whole case.
This whole case.
Mm-hmm.
Race was preeminently focused a lot on.
Okay.
Both races, even the ages, even,
Absolutely.
cultures and all that. So to take race out of it, we can't, because that has been a key component to this whole ordeal right now.
Now, hold that thought. Now, with that, remember before we've talked about the way media like to play and
Right.
manipulate and be the puppet master with some things. So that's how come I'm
But even
asking
in the trial,
in your
even in the
thoughts.
trial,
Okay, and
race was a
so
key component.
exactly. So
Yes.
that's how come, I'm looking at that and I'm trying to, step by step get to this. So if we believe it was racial from the onset in
Mhm.
the store, whether it was some stereotyping or racial profiling or something going on, then that would further heighten
Right.
this whole situation
Right.
of boycotting.
Right.
And so now that we're through the chase 130 yards
Yeah.
later and a
And that
death has occurred.
and he was talking about that about leaving the store.
Yes.
And no matter what the law is, because I know in Indiana, if a person is
Out this-
retreating, they're no longer a threat.
Exactly. Running away from you.
They're no longer a threat. And you can only chase a person police can only chase people for so long to apprehend them. They can relay off, but in police chases, it's a law. And you have to look it up. That's why you see some turn off and they pick back up because they can only chase for so long. So how long can you chase a person?
That's a
And
good
I
question.
believe he had made it off the property. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, again, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe he had made it off the property.
130 yards. That's why I'm not
130
I'm not
yards,
good
I'm
at
pretty sure he got off
thinking
the
of
property.
okay.
Yeah,
so a football field is what?
100 yards.
So I'm just giving
Yeah.
our viewers,
So-
listeners,
so-
an idea of how
So
far.
where E stated, you can protect your home and your property. Now, if this young man was off your property,
He's gone now.
retreating, and you kept following him,
Yes.
then who became the threat?
Okay, so if I make this personal so I can understand this, no matter what the color of the person, if somebody's intruding my business and I chase them from my business,
Right.
now I'm 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
When I harm them,
Right.
I shoot them, I have pursued to hurt or injure
Correct.
this person.
Right.
So now I could be held for
Accountable.
manslaughter
Right.
or something.
Something. Yes.
And one of the things that people were mad about, or is still mad about, is that they did not pursue lesser charges in this case of manslaughter. But there's a reason that they didn't, and it's because simply prosecution wasn't going for that.
No.
They
wanted it all
they
or
was
nothing.
yeah,
they
they was
wanted all
all
or
for
nothing.
something else, and their focus was in a different place. Was more so on the water bottle, not the weapon that was
Right.
exposed through the fight. So that brings us to where what I said, 130 yards later, young life, precious life taken away from us. And now we're here and people are talking about boycotting Asian businesses. There's a lot of crazy, unnecessary videos out there. I'm sure some people have seen those. I don't know, YouTube, TikTok, wherever they're showing up at, but these videos are, first of all, heartbreaking because it's unnecessary for a human being to take the time to say some of the things that I heard in some
Oh
of
my
those
goodness.
videos.
Yes.
It's just ridiculous, especially to throw a whole culture of people in one box because of this one isolated situation. And so Clarence, speak to that. And that's where you were going with the whole boycott situation.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it? Is it going to create change to you if this happens?
No, I'm going to be totally transparent because, it's going to be one person that's going to go back and watch some of our clips and videos. I am a proponent of, yes, withholding your dollars if
Makes
you're
a
not being
difference.
serviced. It'll make a difference. Now, and here's where I am because we got to look at us before we look outside of us. And the statement was made that, you won't have your weave, you won't have your nails done, you won't have food, you won't have this, you
Some
won't have
jobs,
that,
loss
some
of
job.
jobs. Yes.
So this, that, or the other.
Back to the food desert.
Yeah, this, that, or the other.
Yes.
That's only partially true.
Okay.
I mean, it's not just Asians. It's other cultures. It's Hispanics. It's these Arabians. These all these cultures that are
Vietnamese, still
yes,
understand they
that are
put them all
in
together.
our community that have businesses that we don't. And it was talking about the ownership that we lack.
Is that an eye opener?
Yeah, and we have to address and we have to talk about that because the lack of ownership within our own it's astounding.
Mhm.
So yes, I believe hold your dollars if you're not being serviced correctly. But my question is, if I'm holding my dollars,
Where am I sending it?
where am I putting them then? Not saying you going back. And then how long do I hold my dollars? Some of
But-
us, you know,
And
some of us will hold our dollars for a week.
But
But
see,
2 weeks
Well,
later,
I
we
was
right back.
getting ready to say.
but here's what I'm gonna piggyback off you is it's great to hold your dollars. It's great. But when you hold your dollars and don't got nowhere to put it, or you don't want to go to your own that is in your community,
Right.
now we have a problem. Because the
Oh,
simple
well.
fact, if you gave it to your own out the gate, we won't have to say, let's boycott. We want to have the express that's owned by somebody else because we could have our own in our own community.
You
But-
say you should have been where you should have been
Right.
anyway.
Exactly.
First place.
We should have been. Yeah, we're not in
Get
position.
not in
information, black people.
And when we was in position,
Yes.
we want to still go sit at somebody else's table.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even with that,
Well-
Doc B, we had a conversation just
Mhm.
recently last week. We get in positions, but then when we get out of positions, we don't put somebody like us back in that position.
Mm.
And we were talking about, and hopefully they're not watching because I don't want them to come sue us. But we were talking about, because you're in the beauty industry, we were talking about, remember when Carol's daughter came out in their campaign? They were
Oh.
all black.
Yes.
They were all black. They were going to stay black. They were going to be black. But then 3 years later, L'Oreal show up with a check. They no longer
Well,
black.
yeah, money talk.
But so that's what I'm saying. And that's what he said. If we were in position, like with Carol's daughter, there should have been, all right, Carol's daughter soda. And I know there's new products coming, but there should have all,
It should have been already moving.
yeah, it should have been another product that just coming right beside.
Mhm.
And there should be, you know, a recycling of, you know, businesses. But we don't have that in our community.
Mhm.
And we'll sell out. And like you say, I believe the man across town ice is way colder than your ice, Doc.
Of course, of course.
Because, you know, it's just something about your ice I don't feel I'm not going to support. And I think that's been,
Now,
and we've been talking about this. I think we have to own that fact right there, that we are not in position.
We're not in position to support one another because we don't have the businesses.
We
We
don't have
have-
consistent. We have them.
Okay.
But
Hold on,
some of
hold
them
on.
not consistent.
We
but
have-
Okay.
we need
We have-
more of them is what I'm saying.
Okay.
We have the
Come on.
businesses, but what we don't have is it's not consistency. I was just thinking of the word is trust.
Trust.
Yes.
Okay.
See, and that's the funny part about it. And I'm gonna go back to what I said a million times. How many times you went to McDonald's and messed up your order,
All
and
the
you
time.
go back.
and you go back, but as soon as I
The
mess,
next
and soon as I mess up your order or something ain't right, I'm this, that, the third.
Posting on Facebook,
yeah,
telling everybody.
yeah, you telling everybody. So
Yes.
I mean, it's more of okay. He can only mess up one time. Or McDonald's or whoever else can mess up a billion times.
Mm-hmm.
But if I mess up one time because I'm black, you want to hold me to a higher standard than you hold McDonald's and
Okay.
everybody else.
And when you say that, so just to be clear here, so that's what I like to call black on black crime. So that's black,
is.
black
That's
not
bla-
supporting black,
Right,
etc. And so thank you for joining us tonight. This is Neutral Voices in Depth, and we're talking about the boycott and does it create change? And so,
And-
Clarence, did you want to speak?
Yeah,
to?
and speaking of position, and I just don't want to talk about store owners. I don't want to just talk about store owners and businesses. When I say we're not in position to sustain a community of our own.
no, we're not.
We have black banks in Fort Wayne. I think it's 2, but where are they?
All right.
You know what I'm saying? How do I get to them? There's no notoriety of it. There's no. We don't have any medical facilities of our own.
And if this
Where's
is
the
not
black hospital in
true,
Fort Wayne?
I'm just saying. So if he is not speaking correctly,
But tell me a
please-
black hospital. in
please
Fort
share
Wayne.
with us and join us in the conversation.
The only black hospital I ever seen in Fort Wayne is when you fall and scratch your knee, you roll run in the house.
Yes, but so
And that's real talk.
real talk.
House.
Where are there black owned grocery stores? Where are there black owned produce? That's the position I'm talking about.
And let's give Brownlee's props right there,
Yes.
since you said where
Yeah.
are the
I
black
support
owned grocery
Brownlee's.
stores.
I
So
support
I
Brownlee's.
just want to say that because we say that, but are we? And so maybe you are, and I'm guilty, because you can't just go support once a month, once a year,
No, I'm
and you
always in
say you
balance.
support. So I'm speaking to those people out there. They know who they are, and as well as myself. And so I'm saying we need to do better. So while we're talking about boycotting businesses, let's look at the change that maybe it could create, if any. So looking at that,
Let me jump in
before, okay.
before you go on, because I got another part that Clarence always say. If we boycott, what is the intentions behind it?
Exactly.
What is the attentions going forward?
That's what I want to know.
What is
I want to know.
What's our
goal?
what's our
So-
objective? What are our goals?
So let's set that as one of the points for sure. But let
Okay.
me ask this question then, E. Who will it punish? So I'm going to just move down my paper. It punishes who? If we boycott the Asians at this point, since we're talking specifically about the
Okay,
Asians.
'Cause that's a video
So if
clip.
we
Here's the
boycott
point.
the Asians, what
Ooh.
does that look like? And now you got to kind of erase this crazy video that you hear playing in your mind about this guy calling us all out our names and telling us what to do and all this other stuff.
No,
So
no,
ignore that person.
No,
And let's
who it
just look at
punish?
the question.
honestly, who it punish?
Yes,
Honest to God, truth.
to tell it.
It punish us.
Okay. Now,
And I'm finna explain why.
there you go.
The explanation is because if we sit there and want to boycott somebody and we don't have nothing to fall back on,
Who does it hurt in the
who
long
do
run?
that hurt? That's just like me jumping off a bridge with no water.
'Cause
You know what I'm saying?
you mad at somebody else.
I'm mad at
Who
somebody
you gonna
else.
hurt?
Who do I hurt? Because guess what? People still gonna go and still support that business regardless if I stop.
And it might be your cousin, and now you mad at
Exactly.
your cousin or your family because they supporting this person.
Yeah, because I mean, you have to look at it from a bigger standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, okay, we got 10 million people in a city. Only 3,000 of them people start boycotting one business, but the other
Seven. Yeah.
still go to this business. Let's make it make sense.
Right. Yeah. So when you don't have unity in the movement,
And
then
yeah, exactly. In the movement,
does it
doesn't work.
create change? It's a question. Does boycotting create change? That's the simple question. If you
Overall?
want to chime in.
I think it creates momentary change,
Okay.
but in the grand scheme of things, because Ian and I was talking about this about the Montgomery boycott, bus
Okay.
boycott.
Mhm.
You know, that made change. They really did. But here's why it was momentary, because sadly we got out those cabs that black people own and got back on that bus,
Mm-hmm.
gave them double the money. So if you want to make, it's like fasting.
Mm.
And most of us, we fast during Lent, give up something for 40 days. But what do we do on that 41st day?
Go right back. So that's what I was going to say, because
So-
at one point when they were talking about hold the black dollar or something, I don't know what was that called, whatever it was, but banking black or
Banking black.
So
yeah,
but I remember a few times, and I believe somewhere close to 2020, it was something else about holding your black dollars. I remember somebody telling me, "What are you doing? You're supposed to be over there spending money with that." Like, oops. But what you say, it doesn't. There's no long-term effect,
Right.
is
Right.
what you're saying.
Right.
So it's momentarily, we're emotional.
It's called an emotional effect.
Okay.
That's what an emotional effect.
We're emotional making these decisions, and then so after it's all over, have it created the change we wanted to see.
And to go back to your question, because it stands with this as an answer, who does it hurt?
Yes.
Again, we're out of position. We don't manufacture anything. We don't make anything. We don't produce anything.
You mean we're not making Nikes?
No, we're not making Nikes. Look at your Nike tag. See where it is.
China?
Where it's made. Indonesia, China,
Your
Asian countries.
earbuds?
Yeah, all of that.
uh-huh.
So
Mm.
until we get into positions where we can hold our own, and that's where every culture is talking about us and putting us down, is that they point out our flaws that we don't want to point out ourselves.
We don't want to point them out, and it's
In a
one thing
true
to point
fact-
them out, but if you could point them out and make some changes, and
Right.
you
You was reading my
make these
mind.
changes happen.
Yeah.
With
So we can be mad at and we can hold our dollars, but we also got to be intentional. We got to be plotting. We got to be moving forward.
But and we got to make it all make sense.
We got to make it all
because
make sense.
look, guess what? So in my thoughts, I'm thinking, okay, so convenience stores. Do we own those in our community?
No.
Look how many convenience stores we may have, or gas stations. You fuss about them, but you go to them. You're playing the lottery, or you're buying your juice or whatever. You got to get your cold pop. All I'm saying is we're in these places, and of course, because I'm in the industry, in the beauty shop industry, y'all know our industry would suffer greatly if we did not have certain beauty supplies. Now, keep it 100, because some of the stuff we find at those beauty supplies, we're not going to find at some of the other ones.
Right.
So it is what it is. Why is it that way? I don't know, but those are facts. So yes, we would suffer greatly in our industry, in our community. And what do we say? Yes, Fort Wayne is the city of churches, but it's also the city of beauty, because honey, baby, we got so many beauty shops and barbershops and stuff like that. If you can't do anything else, you can get beautiful right here. Yeah. And so, yes, that would be an issue. But this is the thing. So it's kind of how they say, don't cut off your nose despite your face. So that's how I look at what would be happening. And remember, a lot of people don't want to be in the Black neighborhood. I'm talking about corporations and businesses. They don't want to be in the Black neighborhood, or take the neighbor off the hood. But these people embrace us. So one of the things I think would be,
I'm gonna take that.
Wait. No, some of these people. Okay, go. He's gonna add to this.
They don't embrace us. They embrace our money.
Okay, there you go. But let me tell you why I say that. Because I've been treated only very kind by the ones I have encountered.
Because you finna give them some money. Let's make it make sense.
But money or not, I'm telling you the truth. I'm saying I haven't ran into an Asian person that has just treated me bad, no matter what our encounter. So remember now, I have students that are Asian. I'm just saying I've been treated with
I'm just
respect
saying, I'm gonna ask you a
from
question.
all of them.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
Okay.
If you know I'm gonna come to your shop, to you, every week
to spend that money,
how nice you gonna be to me?
I love you. Hi, Mercedes payment.
My point exactly. So I mean, you have to that part. You have to think from that mindset, because the simple fact, if you know for a fact, I'm gonna see Dr. V 3 times this week, and she gonna spend at least $40 each time she come in here.
I get it.
Doc, how you doing?
I definitely get the politics, and I know that's a thing. That's a real thing. But I'm just speaking for. I'll say it like this: just because one man was acting a certain way, or the one idiot on the video was speaking a certain way, it doesn't mean that that's a culture. And I say that because so many times I may have a Black brother or sister. Well, I'm just saying I gotta tell the truth, because that's how I opened the show, to be transparent. I have had a Black brother or sister or relative or somebody speak more degrading of a Black person
I agree
than
with that.
even what I heard that man say.
I agree.
So
I
I'm
agree
saying
with you.
that vexed my spirit, no matter who's saying it or what culture is saying it against another human being. Yeah. So that's where I was going with that. But in the midst of all of that, looking at the outcome, because we're saying or asking the question, does the boycotting create change? I'm saying it could be negative change, because then it's going to destroy. We already talked about creating the loss of jobs. So some people jobs. And yes, it's going to create a food desert, because a lot of times those gas stations may have food they're selling that people actually purchase, and they buy the chicken and the tenders and whatever else, French fries. They buy the stuff, and then it will deepen the racial tension and destroy any chance of building relationship with the Asian or culture to culture. And so, you stop patronizing a particular place. To me, that's, if you want to do something, you want to hurt that person, stop going to their place. All Black people, find out who this person is. Don't go to their store anymore. That's one way. Yeah. But to attack the whole culture of people on either side, I just don't see that it's creating change,
Well,
not positive
I
change.
I think economically, we need to get to a point where we boycott everybody.
There we go.
That's not all about race. If you look at every other community does they believe in group economics. They believe in we are the hardest ones, and if we do, it's very few of us that are doing it. But I
So who do you blame? So that's
yeah,
very
yeah.
vital what you
I've
brought
always
up.
said I'm
We
a
got to
blamer.
blame
We gotta blame.
ourselves.
I said that
We
from
blame
the
So
start.
that's
I
what I'm
started.
saying.
We
So
gotta hold it.
kudos,
Yeah,
kudos to those other
yeah.
cultures that
But
do that. So the problem lies within. And
but
so what can we do
but I
about
brought
that?
this up to say this, and I'm gonna put you on some history. And he mentioned about having our own table. Um, you know, we always say that black communities can't thrive, and then the ones that did thrive, they've been destroyed and things like that. We'll parade Black Wall Street, and they were like over 100 other communities, just like Black Wall Street at
Mm-hmm.
the time, very independent. We say that today we don't have those communities and things such as that. That is not factually true. I want to ask y'all, who know about Mound Bayou?
I do not.
Mound Bayou. Do y'all know Mound Bayou? Have
I
you
do
ever heard
not.
of Mound Bayou?
I've never heard of it.
Okay. Mound Bayou is a city in Mississippi, over 200 years old, 98% black, still owned, still thriving. This community has thrived for over 200 years, or almost 200 years. Black-owned banks, black-owned hospitals, black-owned everything. Now, I'm sure if you ever been to Mississippi, it ain't the most glamorous place. So I'm sure closer they got something. But this community, and we'll mourn Tulsa and all these other communities, but we won't
Won't celebrate
go back
this
and
one.
see what Mount Bayou have been doing
Mm,
all this time to figure out how we can do it other places.
hmm I love that.
So
So how do you spell this?
Mound, M-O-U-N-D,
Just like it sounds.
yeah,
Okay.
Mount Bayou, Mississippi.
Okay, you guys hearing this?
You can look it up.
Hearing
You
it
can look
right here
up.
at Neutral Voices.
You can look it up. Mount Bayou. It's still an all-black, majority black city.
We need to.
Mayor,
See?
police
Is it safe
department,
to visit?
teaching, schools.
We
Yes,
need to visit that.
yes, Mount
I
Bayou.
love
Look
it.
it up. So if this one is still going,
Mm.
we understand the tragedy of Tulsa.
Do you have any idea what the population
No, I
is?
don't.
It okay?
I don't.
Okay.
But still, I'm just saying. Even we mourn Tulsa. Why aren't we studying Mount Bayou
Okay.
to see how we can build?
I
communities
love that.
just
I
like
get you
Mount
on
I
that.
love that you
But see,
inserted that
Go ahead.
during the boycott situation, because one of the things EU were talking about is us supporting black businesses, not just during a boycott. Because yes, if you boycott the Asians and you know you need your nails done, you just might find a black nail tech. Um, but watch this, not really, because some of the black people will still go to a different culture before they go to their own. So that's one of the things you were talking about. Why don't we support each other at all costs anyway, where you should be in formation? And so with that, there's other people out there saying, no, I don't support by color and culture. I support by quality. And I get that too. So we're not here to tell you where to spend your dollars. We just asking a question. Does boycott create change? And is that something we should be doing or not? And before we get out of here, because we get that red light and it's time to go. And so I have to insert something. So Clarence, I want to talk about this parent network as we're talking about supporting. You want to talk about this event, this awesome event we have coming up?
Yes, this Saturday at Blue Jacket, where ONV is presenting the Parent Network Activation Day. This is calling parents, families to come together. For us to make change, we got to come together. And we got to start building a family back together. And what do you start building a family back together? As a parent network. Come out. We're going to have you're going to connect with people. We're going to have some speakers. Of course, we're going to feed you. That's what we always do. The hours are between 2 p.m. and 3:30. We're not going to hold you long. The address is 2826 South Calhoun at Blue Jacket. It's posted on our website. You can scan the QR code, register. Come out, because we want to rebuild the family The family is the heart of the community. And if we want to fix our community, we have to fix the family. We have to fix the family.
And one of the things I like that's on the flyer, it says parents were never meant to do this alone. And so Neutral Voices, OMV, we're all about people, helping people. And as they say, the motto is connecting people to people and people to resources. And so if you don't come out and support, I mean, you can't get the help you need.
Right.
So with that, Clarence, anything else?
No, but go look at Mount Bayou.
And see, that's what I was going to say.
Look at Mount Bayou.
You know, a lot of people, I didn't even know about Mount Bayou. So if people don't know,
you can't support. You can't celebrate it.
You can't celebrate it. You can't get an idea of how they're doing what they're doing. But being that you know now, there's a reason, and it's probably a lot of people do know. Just don't want to put in the work.
Absolutely. And if you already knew about it, chime in. Let us know. I'd love to know if you've been there before and if you're proud of Mount Bayou.
We got a couple of...
Anything you want to share? Anything you...
This is Asian business. I don't know much about what they are on or not. Their food, nope. Their hair stores, nope. Nail shops, nope.
So nope.
Nope.
Yeah, so
okay. Not today.
Not today.
Okay. Well, awesome. Any other comments before we leave?
Mine
acknowledging that. Whoever
that's Lady D.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
But truthfully, and when I say we need to boycott everybody, it's really about self-sufficiency. It's really about being, if everybody else can do it for them, why can't we do it for us?
We can do it for us.
Was
that Fubu that came out
for us by
us and they
but
sold out
too. There's no more us. I heard they bought it back. I heard they bought it back.
I was getting ready to say, but look, don't psych us out.
But I heard they bought it back. Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight and joining in our conversation. This is Neutral Voices in Depth, and we've had a good conversation about whether boycotts create change. And we'll leave it for you to decide for yourself. Always make great choices. And before we leave you, we like to remind you, a podcast by Neutral Voices Media, NV.